about these drafts, John? Which draft do you think you have more faith in going into this game 3?
Honestly, I really like what we're seeing here from Cloud a lot more, right? Like, they've got the pacing, as the panel pointed out. You've got this stable lane winner for CSJ, and we've seen what happens when CSJ does get a lane that just goes smoothly. As long as you can keep applying that pressure. You know, they play this mid-game tempo really well on Cloud's part. Like, the issues for Meteor, I mean, you're farming on an OD, you're going to be farming on a Naga. You do have these strong combinations with the arrow, and they can play around that, but they've got to be able to rotate around the map to make that happen. And for the most part, we've seen Blessing isn't the most willing to show up to fights early on. So the ideal now for Meteor is to just head down mid with your 2 aggressive supports. And if they do get that done, then they can stall the game to hit their timings. But down to execution, it feels a lot easier for Cloud to play this draft in comparison to Meteor. I mean, I do appreciate that Meteor does go for a more standard draft as well. You know, no more mid-Lycan and carrying Marcy coming out. But this draft is still like a lot slower, and it just doesn't feel like it dominates lanes as much until you connect your supports together with the OD. That's when it can really get online.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it does pan out, though. I mean, it is going to be game number 3. Of course, a lot on the line for either side. They're both fighting to remain outside of regulation, or excuse me, relegation is what I was meant to say here. But between these two teams for China Div 2. We'll see how it all pans out, of course. I think it's much more important for Cloud to try and win this one out, to really keep their hopes alive. At Meteor Gaming, they do have a bit more of a buffer, but I suppose you would like to secure your place in Div 2 if you can. And we'll start with the mid lane. Blessing's going to be there against Butterfly Effect. He'll be against the Death Prophet once again. Butterfly Effect proving to be very strong when it comes to playing the DP. We'll see what Blessing can get done on the OD, though. I mean, this is a hero that tends to dominate lanes as well. So, what are you thinking here in the mid lane, John?
Gonna go relatively even, maybe a little bit better for the OD. You can harass quite well when you see the Spirit Siphon committed. Just go for the imprisonment. Not too much to stop you from just clearing out the creep wave and take control from there, but should be rather even. You have to watch your spacing for Butterfly Effect. And the one thing with DP is if you can't use Spirit Siphon to sustain harass out, then the opposite laner will just be able to keep equilibrium and keep farm. So it shouldn't go too bad for Blessing. And again, he's got some aggression that can come in. If you connect with the arrow down the line, if TZ does see the room to rotate, imprisonment into arrow, an old classic combo, you can just find some early kills here if you want to ramp it up that way.
What about the top lane, John? Let's have a look at that one, because you're going to have there against CSJ and Mercy. Of course, TZ going to be there on that Mirana, and you kind of just mentioned the rotations that TZ could make. Seems like he might have his work kind of cut out for him here at the top lane, though. Like, you want to make sure the Naga does have a decent enough lane. Against the Viper Tiny, it can be very, very scary, so perhaps the Mirana can't leave, but do you think Cloud should dominate this laning stage? Do you think it should go the other way?
I think Cloud should have a much better time. You have good ways to punish the Naga. She can still use the illusion spam to try to shove the wave out and get her farm that way. But you've got decent enough wave clear. You know, you've got Avalanche, you've got the Tree Grab, the Meltry Illusions, and nice first blood down there.
Certainly so. Already a great start here for Ice Limit as he does secure first blood on the Pudge. That's always a great feeling as well, because you want to stack up those Flesh Heap strength stacks as soon as you possibly can, and well, he's already off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, and I want to bring out the point as well. You mentioned the stakes here. It's not like it's a guarantee for Meteor if they lose this. They will be in tiebreakers. Like, Cloud stays in, and they're going to be tied with Meteor in terms of scoreline. So it's also make or break for Meteor to find that win. And they've got to execute. Because Cloud, they can come out running. You know, we've seen this team surprises. We've seen some standout performances coming out from CSJ and from Ice Limit. And again, having the strong start for Ice Limit down bot, you don't have as much presence with your Tusk and Treant combo. There is a lot if you can find the space. Tag team plus a Treant is a lot of physical output. And you can melt through the Pudge even with just level 1 Flesh Heap. He will be very susceptible to that damage. It's all about finding the angle, and so far they're just not allowed to really look for it. Like, Starif can trade back really nicely against 2 melee heroes quite well, and if danger comes in, Glimpse is there to save.
Certainly is. Top lane, a bit of a rough affair here as the Viper just really getting to work with that poison attack, making it very hard for TZ to actually remain in the laning stage here as this Mirana. Well, Blessing falling kind of low in the mid lane as well, still being siphoned up. Forced to Astral to try and get away and actually gets taken down. I don't think he was quite expecting that much damage to come out of the Crypt Swarm, but it does. Meanwhile, bottom side, they do find Starif on the Disruptor. It's like Ice Limit can't really go for any kills on his own here. We'll have to leave him be. Meanwhile, TZ top lane, barely surviving with the leap. It's going to be okay. Bit of a rough start here for Meteor Gaming. Like, they've given 2 kills away, 1 to the Pudge, 1 now to the DP, and Butterfly Effect, he got that completely solo. So that's really going to enable him in this laning phase, as he's now level 5 compared to the level 4 of Blessing. And once he hits that level 6 mark, he'll have it in time for the 5-minute siege creep. And that's going to be a bit problematic for Blessing, because he may not be able to defend this mid lane.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that himself. Again, side lanes are pretty tight in. Oh, no.
Yeah, you talk about the side lanes, John. Gone. Mercy cuts him off with the Avalanche. He might die to the tier 1, but no, he does get the de-aggro. TZ, though, going for the dive in, but he's going to get punished. He was hoping for the secondary Starstorm to come down, but it's the closest target to the Mirana. So Mercy was just nowhere near him.
Very optimistic. And this is where the draft for Meteor just kind of goes sideways. If you lose your lanes out like this early on, then you're going to be sharing farm with an OD and a Naga. Your supports aren't ready to make rotations, make plays. You are maybe finding Ice Limit here.
It's a nice pick-off. They at least get the +1 Pudge, which seemed very important considering how the other lanes were going. At least Molasses and Marblu, they find something for their trouble.
Yeah, they can get aggressive, but we need to see like connections come in. I think the biggest relief point they have to really think about is the OD. Is they are trying top.
Well, TZ at least finds Mercy, but now the chase is on. Butterfly Effect really wants this kill. Leap charges are completely expended here for TZ, so he has no way out. At least TZ, though, does buy a lot of time for that Exorcism to try and run out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Molasses going to be chased down, but is trying to fight back with the tag team and might have enough damage. And he does. Ice Limit going a little bit too far. And keep in mind, he's making these plays without a Vanguard. Top lane now, CSJ might get taken out. Butterfly Effect at least is going to find a trade. But going back to the Pudge kill for a moment, I just don't know if you can afford to try and make those plays without a Vanguard up.
No, you have to respect the output. Like, you just don't have enough durability just with a level 1 Flesh Heap. You will just smell. Tag team, the right clicks coming out from these heroes are pretty damn big. And they can just make short work of you. So a little bit of a back and forth. You're finding some openings coming out for Meteor. But overall, I think Cloud, despite these losses, they still have this early tempo lined up for them. Like, once the Vanguard is up for Ice Limit, he's going to be comfy to farm. He's going to be comfy to join in some fights. They got a great first Exo use from Butterfly Effect, still suppressing that Naga up top. And still isn't safe here.
It's still a Viper. It's still a DP. And they're just going to chase him down. That's a walk of shame for the Naga Siren. You know, on this Naga, like, he's already going to have a tough game against the +1 Pudge, against the Viper and a DP core lineup. And with these 3 deaths now 7 minutes in, like, this hero, it's not a great hero if it's off to this bad of a start. Even if you can flash farm in the jungle, you still need some items up to really make that happen, and you really need some XP up to make that happen. Right now, he's finding neither of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow process for him. He can just start jungling now. Double Wraith Band plus the Elven Skin. He's tanky enough to have his illusions just stand there and Riptide through. But you are leaving top open for just a simple shove in from the side of Cloud. And you're not keen on defending just yet. They're TPing up, though.
They are. Blessing gonna try and save the tier 1, but now he's in danger. Arrow's gonna move completely as well. They do not line it up. At least the Sanities will find the OD, but Butterfly Effect is gonna clean up. Marblu running. Spirit Siphon is now available once again. He's forced to use it on the Mirana, but they might even go for her now. Butterfly, can you survive? Starstorm, not enough. The tier 1 tower won't aggro either. Mercy ensures he aggroes the tier 1, so Butterfly Effect will survive through it. Oh, it's so much golden XP going back the way of this Death Prophet. Already level 9 at 8.5 minutes. 5 kills, 2 assists to go the way of Butterfly. You couldn't ask for much more.
No, it's perfect. Like, he just camped top. He forced the movement out from the OD. Blessing is still trying to work onto his Midas. They're finding an opportunity bot as well.
They are. Molasses. Starif doesn't have the glimpse up. Oh, CSJ, no.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it was a
Ooh.
longer TP. He thought, no, it's not going to happen. TZ had TP down to the bot tier 1 tower. That's why it took so long. One more poison attack probably would have just done it. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes your muscle memory kicks in. Meanwhile, bottom side. I mean, they still have found Starro. Problem is, Molasses is going to give his life away, perhaps. He'll run.
No.
Viper Strike there onto TZ. Not going to make the difference. He's okay.
Yeah, Molasses gets away with a little bit of a freebie, but you're having issues up top. Blue falls down again. Butterfly effect, the round to help. You're giving some stacks away once more to Ice Limit. He's got the Vanguard go up, and he should be able to clear up top. Look at Butterfly effect. Just with travels, he's just chasing around. He has no care. He's got the movement speed to chase you down with Spirit Siphon. He knows there's no burst damage here just yet from the side of Meteor, and he just takes over these stacks. These are the stacks that you desperately need on and one Soul Death Prophet is enough to shove you away.
Yeah, it's very clever play from Butterfly because he knows how far the Naga's behind now. So you just take all the stacks, you just force her out of the jungle. In fact, you even question why they're even leaving at this point. Bottom lane, at the very least, CSJ does go down, but Molasses will follow. Looks like Starro is going to get Overgrowth just to ensure they get a Disruptor, but they've lost Blessing. Blessing on the mid OD is gone. And now they're looking into that mid tier 1 tower because Butterfly effect, he's got a double damage, and more importantly, he's got the Exorcism off cooldown. How do you defend this one?
You can't. You don't have the song to play to set up. You popped Overgrowth down bot. Your OD is not at the levels where he's going to be comfy yet. Molasses will show up. They have some snowball plays on hand, but you don't really want to run up to Butterfly effect. At least with a Treant, you can heal that mid tier 1 tower up a little bit more. So you have an opportunity to try and stall, but the output from Cloud is there if they do decide to commit. And now this is, again, where Meteor's draft kind of goes sideways, Mike. No Binance on Blessing, no jungle space, or not that much coming up from and they're just dropping.
TZ's gone. That mid tier 1, even with the Exo, looking kind of tasty here for Cloud, but it looks like they're a bit low on mana, so maybe just needing a bit of a reset. This whole time as well, Iceland has just been free farming on the punch. And that's the big thing, right? He's going to get an Aghanim Scepter up, and if things weren't painful enough as they were, once the Ags is up, like, there's just no running from this side. Like, your Naga's not going to be anywhere near prepared for it. Is farming, but he's still behind a net worth and just currently trying to work on towards a Yasha. It's just going to be so slow.
Yeah, it's not going to be that quick timing you want in your Naga. Like, Naga can play with, say, Manta up plus, or even just Yasha plus your Ultimate Orb. You are kind of set to join some early engagements. It doesn't feel like you're going to be ready on the OD, and that's the bigger issue here. Like, you've got two cores that just have such slow timings. And look at the side of Cloud, just smoking up again with her two supports. They can play make, they can set up team fights. They've got Butterfly effect standing forward. They can force this tier 1 quite fast.
Here we go again. Blessing being caught out. They'll just move in with the Static Storm. There's no escape. More TPs incoming to try and defend this tier 1 mid tower. There's a Walrus punch out, so at least Starro will die, but now the Viper Strike will connect onto Molasses. He can run away though with the Moonlight Shadow, excuse me, is Blue now. Gonna go for a nice Overgrowth, but they are very tanky on the side of Cloud. Maybe they can at least secure CSJ. CSJ looking to fight back, does go down. Meanwhile, Ice Limit showing up with a nice hook onto TZ, but can't keep up with the Mirana. In the meantime, Molasses getting chased down to the Tusk. Maybe I'm gonna run his way out, and it seems like he will. He will survive for now. They are desperately trying to ensure this mid-tier 1 stands, because they need the farming space for this Naga Siren. Problem is Blessing, he just came back. He just TP'd to the tier 1 tower, but he might be right back on his way to the graveyard. And he will. They find Mercy for it, but it doesn't matter. Molasses, he's trying to get out now, but Butterfly effect on the chase. Snowball up in 2 seconds, 1 second, but the silence is there. Butterfly effect 11, 0, and 3. This is 13 minutes in. He's almost got a kill per minute.
He's almost got the same amount of kills that Meteor has as a collective team. He's 1 kill off. It's down to the draft, right? Meteor, they didn't manage to get aggressive. Their side lanes were too suppressed for them to connect with the OD combinations. And isn't free farming as much as you'd want. He's playing in this opposite triangle as well, just because there's no room for him to be safe. The invasion smoke here from Cloud is going to go to the wrong side of the map, but if they figure out that he's just trying to be sneaky here, Courier does spot him. They can just kind of shift gears, but not. We'll go elsewhere.
Here we go. Double damage again for Butterfly. Blessing, he just can't catch a break.
No.
Static Storm, gonna lock him down. He was right underneath vision. At least bottom side, they are trying onto the punch. Ice Limit getting caught out, may drop here though. We'll go for a Dismember. Overgrowth though gonna cancel that one off, and they do find the pos one. Problem is, Mercy's on the chase for more. They get the glimpse back onto Molasses. Molasses, well, he's gonna try his best to find a way out of this one, but there is no way out. He will go down. At least you got the pos one, Pudge. Like, you've gotten to the stage where on the Naga is actually ahead in terms of net worth compared to the punch. And this Ag's timing has been delayed quite a lot.
Yeah, it's been stalled. They are giving some much-needed space from They have managed to attract the attention away from the Naga as well. So the catch-up is starting to build up. The Midas is also up for Blessing, so he does have room to slowly build up despite the deaths as well. And Cloud has to be a little bit careful about just dropping Ice Limit. Still, the Ag's time is still lined up.
CSJ getting caught. Will pop the mech, trying to run towards his team, and does actually survive. Mercy going to be there just in case he needed it. Easy. Run right into him. Avalanche toss should be out, and that'll be a Mirana kill here. The CSJ that he almost dies to the Starstorm damage. Not quite enough though. He barely will survive. And so now 21-13, 2k advantage. Props to the side of Meteor. The fact that the net worth isn't way bigger in difference is kind of massive for them. As Blessing now, mid lane, still just not having a game on this OD. Gonna get silenced again. Doesn't have the Astral because he used it to farm. Now does have it. Spyfin's still going. He just never gets it off.
Yeah,
I mean,
so someone's still gonna get copped, right? Like you have two cores farming. You have the Tusk trying to at least get this build up into BKB. It has the blink up, so chances are one of your farming cores will get jumped. Would you rather the OD over the Naga? Maybe. Although OD without farm just feels atrocious. Now you have the opening to go mid or into the Roshan for Cloud. Pop the Exo, get that secondary life up. You could give it to Butterfly Effect. I think a bigger one is Ice Limit, just because, well, he is going to be pretty hard to handle once the Axe is up, and it should line up with a Roche take here. Your Axe timing lining up with Aegis. The side of Meteor not really able to come in at the right time. Now they'll hand it to a Butterfly Effect. That makes sense as well. Very durable up front. You're almost set to go for that full timing of Cloud. For Meteor, again, it's still more time. Your OD just has nothing behind besides Midas. Manta on, but he doesn't have anyone to connect with on his cores. You need to stall. If this lead hits like 5k in the next 3 minutes, that's where things get a little bit scarier.
Well, here we go.
Ah, boy.
Tier 2 tower, Static Storm. Oh, they found Blessing again. I
Yeah,
mean, leave the guy alone, please. He's 0-8-2. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah, he's a creep at this one. By the way, Butterfly Effect has 14 kills. Meteor has 13. He has more kills than the enemy team has altogether. There you go. Butterfly Effect's feeling great. He's going for the Ags again. This time I can't fault it because he's so far ahead that you can afford to go for it. Just more damage, more presence. You know, it's funny too because if you think about OD, Astral imprisoning a Exorcism DP, the Ags will still send out extra ghosts, I believe. So there you go.
Here we go. Moonlight Shadow committed. See what they can find. Like, they're going to run into CSJ in that die triangle, so Blessing could try to set up. Starif looking to break the smoke. Won't run down to the river instead. Butterfly Effect does run down. That's probably not the target they want to start with, though, because he does have the Aegis and he is currently unkilled. Molasses, he will find a Disruptor in the back line. But Butterfly, he's going to pop the Exo. CSJ somehow survives through all this onslaught. And guess who they glimpse back?
Oh.
Hey, how dare they? They bring Black Blessing. That is not nice. Hook out onto TZ, not going to land. TZ, though, probably still just dead. We'll just get the D-Ward. He had every other option, and he chose to bring back the OD.
Sends a message, Mike. You know, it's not about finding the big kills. It's not about finding the right target. It's about sending a message. They're sending a message to Blessing right now that this game is not a blessing for him. 3K
No.
behind. So we're into that timing, right? The lead is getting pretty damn big. You're not going to find the answers just yet coming out from Meteor. They haven't been able to play with their pickoff. They get one pickoff at least. They can connect with that. Maybe if you find 5 more of that, like not even team fight kills, just look for these individual pickoffs over and over again, you can start to reel back control. I just worry that they're not going to be able to. It's so much time to stall. Like Blessing, he's behind in farm. He's matching Mar Blue's farm on the Treant, Mike. That's him with a Midas on the OD. That's painful. And not gonna lie, that's
very
pretty
painful.
sad.
It's quite sad. It's quite a miserable play, or rather miserable game right now for our OD. But you know, it happens. What can you do? Mid lane showing himself. I mean, he's kind of the saving grace of the team right now. He's caught up very nicely in net worth, but here comes the punt that we were also worried about. And that net worth, John, it doesn't really feel like it matters. I mean, Pudge is a direct counter to the Naga anyway. Like, Panel talked about how great this Pudge pick was. You just saw how quickly she gets deleted.
Yeah, she just melts. Like you're nowhere near something like a heart. You're not even itemizing for the heart. You want to have some presence in these fights, so Orchid is the name of the game. They might jump CSJ again.
Yeah, bottom lane. CSJ getting caught, has the Greaves up, but can't get it off in time. Hook off the mark. Iceland not going to connect. Mercy, though, still jumping in. Does find Molasses with the toss back right back into the Pudge. Well, that's one way to do it. No hook necessary. Butterfly effect, quote unquote, securing the kill for himself on the DP. Getting his 16th kill of the game. Not sure if he quite deserved that one, but nevertheless, he's got it.
Oh, he deserves it, Mike. His goal is to just have more kills than Meteor has entirely. You know, he has to maintain that. 0 deaths.
Well, there goes TZ getting deleted by Mercy now. The craziest part is it's still only a 3K advantage. Like, considering how dominant they are in this game, the fact that it's only 3K, that's insanity.
It is. I mean, you still farm pretty well on. He hasn't been pressured as much outside of the laning phase, right? Like he's been ganked once recently. He's got his Orchid flying out. He is switching over to the Heart after, not going for the full Bloodthorn, which I appreciate. Although, again, like Rot with the Ags kind of negates your healing prowess there anyway. But more EHP is better. Just want to kind of try to survive and use your spells here. But for Cloud, I mean, with these timings up, you'd want them to try to gun for a tier 2. As long as these tier 2s still stand, you have some semblance of control in the jungle, although there's really good vision here from the side of Cloud, but you have some room to farm. And you've got this hope that Blessing could still go into the Ags. He's only 2,000 gold away, roughly. Maybe with the Ags, double imprisonment does something.
TZ's caught, he'll go for a leap. The poison attacks, the glimpse back, he is dead. Mercy will pick up the kill, and now the top tier 2 tower is going to be under siege once again from Butterfly effect. Yeah, there's not really much they can do about it. They just got to try and creep skip if they can, but Mar Blue can't even get away with that. Boy, oh boy, it's tough. Like, it's such a rough game. Their Blessing's holding the Philosopher's Stone as well. Like, you look back at the OD for a moment, he's literally holding Philosopher's Stone. Regardless of the minus attack damage, it's like, whatever. I need the gold right now. I need the catch-up. It's just...
He does.
It's just miserable. You know?
It is.
It's just miserable.
There's no way that he's a happy camper right now. There's just no way. They moonlight up. There's smoke out from Cloud here. They've got all their ults ready, except for EXO. If they find... I mean, that's a one target you really don't want to lose here.
Toss up. Song?
Ooh.
No, it's not there.
Ooh.
Maybe now? No, never mind. He's down. I mean, there is an animation. There is a spell animation, to be fair. Can take a tiny bit. Just didn't have a chance.
It's a bit funky to see the hook and the glimpse back as well. It's always kind of funny to see. But yeah, they find a big kill that you really didn't want to see coming out there for Meteor's end. And now you have that 5k lead we talked about, 30 to 16. The side of Cloud just completely dominant in this game. They can go for the siege onto the mid. I mean, you have the living armor, but with the Ags up on Butterfly effect, he's got a mini EXO basically going on every time. Like that tower just melts with that bonus damage coming through. for the side of Meteor, one big thing for them is they do have decent high ground here. They find Ice Limit.
But they do. Ice Limit, big target. They will take him out. That's something. A pretty big kill, in fact. If you can find Butterfly Effect, that's the big one. Like, he's worth so much golden XP right now. That's the guy you want. But you found the Pos 1 Pudge. It's still really good.
Yeah, it gives you a much-needed injection on a couple of these heroes. They're smoked up as well, looking for more.
Starif was a couple seconds away from having Static Storm up. In fact, he survived, so now he does have it up. He could throw it out before he dies, and he will do so. Problem is, no kinetic field. Mercy should still go down to the Tiny, but in comes Butterfly Effect. He's the one you've got to worry about. He'll chase down the Naga immediately with the silence out, making sure there's no song, and even then, he still had the BKB.
No.
I mean, he got the song off, but it was too late. At least, though, they've cleared out 4 of the 5. It's only Butterfly Effect that's surviving through these engagements now. So it's still a one-team fight for the side of Meteor Gaming.
It's still a win. Like, overall, you're still gaining gold on... you're getting that bounce back for Blessing. He's got his Ags flying out. So the game's starting to feel playable for our OD. Double Imprisonment at the ready. And a lot of things just not lining up in that jump. Like the 4-staff save, stalling out the Disruptor Death, having that window to still drop a Static Storm. Not the most effective, but cuts them off from finding any initial or faster kills. TP point as well that they were fighting under. And Butterfly Effect just comes up and at least cleans up the 1 kill.
It's just the thing, like Butterfly Effect set up such a great game. But it's like your Pos 1 Pudge is, I don't know, it's kind of strange. Like the survivability is just not there for this hero right now, and you kind of question things, right? Because Butterfly Effect, he's going to be a little bit salty right now, considering how dominant he's been this game. Like you would kind of expect a much bigger lead. I would be kind of mad if I was him. I'm not going to lie.
It would be fair to me. Yeah, I'd be mad too. Although still finding
Mercy. Very nice pickup. There's TZ going down. Props to Mercy. I mean, Mercy's been doing a fantastic job on the support Tiny. It looks like they want to go for Roshan. Why the hell not? In we go.
They've got Exo. It's not going to take too long. You don't have the best angles in here on the side of Meteor. Again, you don't have vision around the Roche Pit. They're not going to fully go for it, opting to control mid instead. Maybe just giving them an opportunity to bounce in. Butterfly Effect is going for the Radiance as well, which I actually don't mind in this case. Simply because you are against Naga. Alright, Ice Limit just dismembers an illusion right now. I'm actually curious about one thing. Would Radiance proc an Exorcism Ghost?
Oh!
Does that count as spell damage?
I don't think so, John, but we're going to find out very soon. I don't believe so.
That would be pretty ridiculous if it did. That's a lot of DPS. Way too much. With a missed chance in the slow.
It certainly is. I mean, we'll find. I mean, it's something we'll learn today, Jonathan. Something we'll learn today. I mean, if that was the case, though, then you could like pick up that Cloak of Flames they just found and also wear that, right? You just.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's pretty sure it's not. Sadly, would have been pretty funny if it was.
We'll find out. If it is, then I guess you have a new strat in ability draft. Try to take Exo and I guess Thirst, and then get Ags. Then you get Blood Mist by Radiance with the Exo Ghost effect on the. You could go really deep.
You always find a way to bring Blood Mist into the conversation. Like it's never gonna happen, John. It's not a good spell.
Meme. It's my favorite meme. Okay.
You're reaching too much now. You know, it's just a little bit too desperate here, John, with the Blood Mist. I want to see it for you, John, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I mean, I had a really good conversation with Jenkins about it. And they did change it from physical to pure, I think, which takes out a little bit of that bite as they take Roche here. They get the shard up as well on Butterfly Effect. But when they changed it from magical to pure, it was because it was doing more damage to Bloodseeker like it was pure. But making it pure means it doesn't interact with Bloodthirst, which is kind of sad. Oh, that's not sad. Ice Limit finds something.
He certainly does. It's going to be Molasses on the Tusk. Snowball is there, but this is the thing, right? Ags run. Like, you never really can run. He pops his BKB, but Hook is out.
Oh, that's painful.
It is.
It's funny to watch, but it's definitely not funny for anyone on Meteor right now. That's they're getting crushed.
Marbleu, be careful. They just put wards down Marbleu. Oh, Marbleu. I'm going to say it again, John. They're not out of this game yet. Like, even though they're dropping like flies all across the map, they are not out of this game. Meteor Gaming, they still hold all their axes. The outer towers are still there at the bot lane. And is still farming. He's going on towards the Eye of Skadi soon on the Naga Siren. And Ice Limit, I mean, he's keeping up in net worth, but I'm certainly starting to question if he's going to be able to keep up the whole time.
I think the core matchup's actually not too bad for Pudge. Like, you are a natural illusion burner, and you do get hyper durable as the game goes on. Your bigger concern is actually the OD and the scaling. Like, he will have scaling damage with Sanity's Eclipse coming out, if he survives through. And the bigger thing is Blessing is catching up. He's not too far behind in comparison to Ice Limit. So I would say this stall, this Philosopher's Stone on our OD, it's paying off. Because he's got Ags BKB. He'll go into Hurricane Pike. He gets a little bit more int on hand. He can melt something like the Pudge quite fast.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of memeing anyway, John. It's like the Arcane Orb damage, it doesn't care for the attack damage OD has, so it kind of makes sense for him to just hold it. You know, 80 GPM is 80 GPM. Can't complain about that. Bot tier 2 tower is gone. But they can't go high ground yet, sure. I mean, they can. They've got the XO up if they want to try for this. They will. They'll give it a shot. XO pop. They're going to try, but keep in mind, the Axe is up now on Molasses. Kick is available. Oh. There's your kickback. They've got the DP. He's the big one. 19-0-5 is the kill score of Butterfly Effect. There's a song being committed by him to make sure that he can't just get right to work. Butterfly Effect seems like he wants to get out of here. And I suppose the EXO will wear off rather soon, so they won't risk sticking around. It's back to the drawing board for them, back to farming. And for Meteor, I think they have successfully defended their bottom lane of barracks.
That is something they do really well. They have really good threat on the high ground, so they can stall out and hope for a comeback in. In fact, they're going to go for a smoke play, and knowing that BKB EXO is down, they've got an angle in and really start to show us what Blessing can do here, I suppose.
Let's see. Run to the Radiant jungle is the way they'll go here in Meteor. Into the mid lane. They know Butterfly is there. And that is the primary target. But they will not go for it. In fact, a group up now from Cloud, they're the ones that may smoke up as well. They may just group up and go as a team. In fact, no smoke. Just grouping up to make sure they don't get caught with their pants down. CSJ gonna lose his courier, very annoying.
That's his Ags.
That was his Ags.
That's his full Ags. For 2.5 minutes, not having that dive is actually massive in terms of trying to melt these illusions faster outside of Pudge. And that's a window. And they find a DD on Meteor. They deny the DD on Meteor. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't want it. All right. Sure.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Well, mid lane, bit of a push coming in from Cloud. 30 seconds for the EXO to be back up here on their DP.
I have to say something, Mike. I'm disappointed. Butterfly Effect went for the smarter, safer build, not really smarter with the Shivas. So we don't get to see if Radiance Burn will apply a Ghost.
It won't, John. I know for a fact it's not going to apply.
But what if it does? Think of the possibilities, Mike.
John, if that actually worked, I mean, it's too broken. Speed would
but
have
then
a
you're
field
playing
day,
DP Radiance Ags.
TZ gonna end up getting deleted. I mean, I'm gonna have to jump into a demo just to make sure that doesn't work now, because you've got me rolled up here. Oh, it doesn't. You've confirmed, have you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Work. That makes me sad. Would have been funny. So funny. I want funny stuff to do it again, Mike. You know, I love funny stuff.
Ice Limit.
Blood Mist. It's funny.
Orking it up, force the BKB on the Pudge. Overgrowth will be there. And he's just going to walk away from this. TP's incoming. Will get cancelled off as well. Just Song was popped preemptively just to ensure can get away from this on the Naga. And Blue, he'll just stick around bot lane and just continue pushing out the wave. It's about all he can do to buy his team some time. Problem is, Mercy gonna see him taking out that creep wave. We'll catch out the Treant. Blue eventually will probably just die. There's no real escape for him. But he has afforded to buy more time here for Meteor Gaming. Give him a bit more of a chance.
Yeah, they're stalling. That's really all they have to do. Stall for Blessing. Have confidence in your OD and your Naga scaling into the late game. And for Cloud, it's not that they get out of the game. But the ultra late game, it just becomes harder to execute this lineup. And becomes much easier for the side of Meteor. So that's a trade-off you're pulling here for playing this pace as well on Cloud's end. They have a Lotus Orb up and running on Ice Limit to at least get some saves going, maybe reflect back one of these Astral Imprisonments off, take Blessing out from the middle of these fights. And you have a Linken's waiting on Butterfly Effect. So some protection there as well from the kickback. Gonna try again with this defense.
So Pop, Axe is now up on CSJ, so he does have that nosedive available. Linken's is broken. They're going to make the jump in on Molasses. Glimpse was there, but he will save with the Astral from Blessing. Molasses will not be brought back. Cloud's still very, very cautious, but a nice hook on Molasses this time around should do the trick. Astral's not there in time. Blessing, he needs to get the hell out of there. The chase is on. They've got the OD now. He was trying to get in range for the Astral, but he's got no buyback. He has got no buyback, neither does a Tusk. Hook barely misses onto Blue. That'll be at least the bot racks to go down, but considering there's two heroes down without buyback, they could definitely just go for more. It might be a little bit of a slower process, but they can certainly get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you say slow, it's still pretty quick just with the Ags and Butterfly Effect. You know, probably fine too. Oh?
TZ not going to get tossed back. I mean, to be fair, they don't really need it. Let's be frank. Mid-racks, Glyph forced out. That might delay things. M's trying to split push as well. Seems like they will not be able to find the Naga. She's going to be okay to back off, but they're missing a mid-creep wave, so they are just going to retreat, defend that mid-tier 2 tower and sort the creep wave out. M's going to be ultra cautious here, though. He is really in that dire jungle right now, and CSJ may have just seen him. Do they realize which is the real one? Well, Ice Limit does. They make the jump in. BKB is there, but where's the help for Ice Limit? Dismember is out through the song now to hold him down. Cloud still just wrapping around. Glimpse is there onto the Naga, and that's going to be gone. No survival, no buyback either.
That's the big one. Should open up any sort of high ground foray if they want. There's no Roche to play for 2 minutes, unfortunately. So not going to be able to just go for the safer play here. Side of Cloud could just take control of the jungle, you know, sap away all this farm. For Meteor, the stall has been, all things considered, pretty respectable. They've held on to this game for quite a long time, but the lead is just growing. Cloud, 16k up. Ice Limit working his way onto the overwhelming blink now. And the Linken's just stopping any sort of big play for Molasses, although...
Blessing forced to BKB very early on the OD just to avoid the avalanche stun coming in from Mercy. It's going to wear off rather soon. Meanwhile, Blue just going to get destroyed here by Butterfly Effect on the DP. 21st kill of the Death Prophet already. They keep trying to defend this mid-racks. The tier 3 tower not going to last, but Molasses, he's there with the kickback onto the punch, but that's not really your main problem right now. The main problem is still Butterfly Effect is, Ice Limit, he is going to survive. He just tanks through it. And look at Butterfly, he's just stat farming now. He's literally just stat padding. Oh my goodness, it's just disastrous. Butterfly, he'll go after Blue. He wants the easy kills. They'll hold him down though. Perfect record could be ruined. He's calling for his team to get over there and help him out right here, right now. Though he's dropping real darn quick. They might finally have him, but no, he's still surviving, still siphoning, still alive, but the Spirit Vessel is taking him out. Butterfly, he's walking away. He might just make it, and he has. He is out. He is not dying. 23-0-10, they call it. They wanted to ruin the record. It will not be ruined.
That is a major win for Cloud. This puts them at 2-5. This puts Meteor at 2-4. This puts Poke, potentially, if they don't win it.